My name is Barry Chang, and I was co-driver with Alan Williams when we drove the Beatles on their inaugural trip to Hamburg in August 1960. I was the co-driver because of Alan Williams, the then manager of the Beatles, was the husband of my sister Barry Chang, and I was on my holiday from work as a trainee civil engineer. So I went along more or less as a summer holiday. The plan for the journey was that we would all meet. It was the 15th of August 1960. We'd all meet outside the Jacaranda, probably around about 10 o'clock in the morning, which we did. And eventually we all loaded up all our personal belongings and all the musical equipment and speakers. And you can see that on some of the photographs that are in existence. From there we drove down to London to meet Herr Steiner, who was going to be an interpreter for when we arrived in Hamburg. From there we drove down to, I think we stayed in Colchester for the night, which is quite near Harwich, where the ferry was going to depart from. Early on the morning of the 16th, the van was loaded up from the quay at Harwich by crane and dropped onto the ship, and a long ferry ride to the Hook of Holland. From there we went directly to Arnhem, the Commonwealth War Grave Cemetery, which is actually in the place called Oosterbeek, which was near Arnhem. That's where we paid our respect to the fallen from World War II. And from there, then we went directly to Hamburg, and we arrived in Hamburg, I guess, about 9 or 10 o'clock at night, and then met Herr Koschmieder. Well, there are actually only 3 photographs in existence currently. The first one was of the minibus when it was first lifted from the ground to a height of about 6 foot. And in the bottom left-hand corner of that photograph, there's a side view of a profile of a person which many people believe to be John Lennon. The second photograph was the same vehicle, this time at height, about to swing over onto the ferry. The third photograph is the one that is probably, well, is the most world-famous photograph out of the 3. And it's an image of most of the Beatles grouped around the cenotaph in Arnhem, the Commonwealth War Grave Cemetery. And point to notice on this is the inscription that they're standing by reads, "The name liveth forevermore." So how prophetic has that phrase become, the way things have turned out. When we set off from the quay at Hook of Holland on our way to Arnhem, the Commonwealth War Cemetery, I realised that there was nothing on the bus that advertised who was inside the bus, i.e. the Beatles. So I suggested we stop at a newsagent's, buy some Dutch newspapers, rip out uppercase letters that spelt the Beatles and stick them on the inside of the minibus on the windows. And this is what we did, and we used spit to stick them on the windows.